Many women spend endless hours trying to figure out how to stay on a man's mind. They send constant messages, check in repeatedly, or work hard to appear flawless. But the truth is, men don't obsess over effort or perfection. What they can't forget is the feeling you create inside them. And here's the surprising part. To spark that feeling, you don't need complicated tricks or hours of strategy. Sometimes just 3 simple words, you and me, if said the right way, can plant an unforgettable image in his mind and make him think about you nonstop. Before we go further, if this resonates with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss more insights on love, psychology, and lasting attraction after 60. Now, let's dive into the 3 key reasons why you and me hold such magnetic power.
True attraction lives in emotion, not polite words. Think back for a moment. Can you remember every sentence someone you once cared about said to you? Probably not. But I bet you can recall the way their voice softened when they said your name, or the way your stomach fluttered when they looked at you just a little longer than usual. That's the truth of human memory. Our brains don't record conversations like a tape recorder. They sketch emotional moments like an artist, keeping only the colors and strokes that mattered most. When it comes to attraction, this truth is even more powerful. Men don't stay awake at night replaying whether you wrote, "Hey, how's your day?" with perfect grammar. What keeps them up, what makes them check their phone twice, is when your words stir something inside them, something they didn't even realize was waiting to be awakened. Carl Jung, one of the great minds of psychology, devoted his life to this very mystery. He once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will guide your life and you will call it fate." What he meant was simple, yet profound. We think we're making logical choices, but in reality, it is the unconscious mind that pulls the strings. Attraction isn't decided by a checklist of pretty, kind, successful. It's decided by the symbolic emotional resonance that bypasses reason and settles deep in the heart. This is why polite small talk, no matter how well-intentioned, rarely leaves a mark. "Hope you're doing well" might be kind, but it doesn't stir. It doesn't anchor. It's background noise, easily filed away and forgotten among dozens of similar greetings. Without emotional charge, it evaporates. But when you speak in a way that paints an image, even a small one, the effect is completely different. Imagine telling a man, "I can already picture us competing over who makes the better pancakes." Suddenly, he's not just reading words. His mind is sketching a scene, 2 people laughing in a kitchen, flour dusting the counter. That easy sense of play, that image stays. Why? Because it is connected to feeling, and feelings are the glue of memory. This is the difference between being polite and being unforgettable. Polite lives in the conscious mind, where it is quickly erased by the next notification. Unforgettable lives in the unconscious, where images, emotions, and symbols are stored. Jung showed us that this is where true desire takes root. When your words bypass his logic and slip into that deeper space, you're no longer just another conversation. You're an experience, a sensation he wants to return to. So if you want to understand why some women seem to linger in a man's thoughts while others fade, look not at the quantity of their words, but at the quality of the feelings they spark. That is the essence of attraction. Emotion first,
logic later. And this brings us directly to the second secret. 3 small words that act like a symbol, instantly linking you and him together in his unconscious mind. 2. You and me. 3 magic words that create a symbol of connection. At first glance, you and me might seem far too simple to have any real effect. But the beauty of these 3 words is not in their length, it is in the image they plant. When you say you and me, you are not just talking, you are painting a picture, quietly placing both of you inside the same frame. Instead of 2 separate people exchanging words, you suddenly become characters in a shared story. That is the hidden genius of this phrase. It slips past logic and lands directly in the unconscious, where symbols are stronger than sentences. You and me suggests partnership without forcing it. It whispers, we belong in the same scene, and that whisper lingers long after the conversation ends. It also communicates 3 deeply attractive qualities that men notice, even if they cannot explain why. The first is confidence. You are not timidly asking for permission. You are declaring a possibility with calm certainty. The second is clarity. No vague hints, no confusing signals, just a direct statement that feels refreshing in a world full of mixed messages. And the third is initiative. Instead of waiting passively for him to take the lead, you are showing that you can shape the moment. That subtle leadership is magnetic because it signals energy, presence, and desire without desperation. Imagine the difference between saying, "Do you want to go to dinner sometime?" and saying, "You and me should grab dinner." The first feels like a request, leaving the power entirely in his hands. The second feels like an invitation, confident yet playful, already sketching the image of 2 people sitting across from each other, sharing laughter over a meal. That image becomes a living memory his mind keeps replaying. And here is where you can make this even more fun. Next time you picture yourself using you and me, ask, in what kind of moment would it feel most natural for you? Would it be about music, food, travel, or even a silly inside joke? I'd love to hear your ideas. Drop a comment below and tell me one playful way you might use you and me in your own conversations. Because once you understand the power of this phrase, you realize it is more than language. It is a frame, a story seed, a little spark that binds you together in his imagination. And when a man's imagination is engaged, his feelings follow. Now that we see the magic of you and me, it is time to talk about something equally important, using these words the right way, at the right time, so they spark desire instead of pressure.
3. The power lies in how you use it, not just the words themselves. If words alone were enough, everyone who ever said you and me would have men falling head over heels. But as with every symbol, the true power lies in timing, tone, and delivery. A phrase that could make his heart skip a beat in one moment might feel awkward or even pushy in another. The difference is not the phrase itself. The difference is the feeling behind it. Think about the moments when chemistry naturally sparks between 2 people. You are laughing together about a silly story, realizing you share the same taste in music, or discovering you both can't stand pineapple on pizza. That spark of connection is the perfect soil for you and me to grow. If you plant it there, it feels natural, almost inevitable, like two puzzle pieces clicking together. "You and me should try that coffee spot," said with a smile, feels playful and inviting. His mind doesn't just hear it, he sees it. The two of you sitting in a cozy cafe, sharing a moment that feels effortless. That picture takes root and starts replaying in his imagination long after you've said it. Now, contrast that with saying, "You and me should be together forever," after only knowing him for 5 minutes. The phrase suddenly shifts from a light spark to a heavy weight. Instead of curiosity, it creates pressure. Instead of intrigue, it raises alarms. His unconscious mind doesn't connect with the image, it resists it. This is why so many people misunderstand attraction. They use the right words at the wrong time, and the effect is completely reversed. Tone matters just as much as timing. The magic of "you and me" is in its lightness. Said with a playful grin, it comes across as a fun possibility. Said with a relaxed, confident energy, it feels like an invitation. But if your voice trembles or your eyes search his face for approval, the energy shifts into neediness. Attraction thrives on space, not pressure. The unconscious mind responds to freedom, not force. That is why the secret is to use "you and me" as a spark, not a spotlight. You are not writing the whole script of the relationship. You are simply dropping a match into the kindling and letting curiosity take over. Men are wired to lean into mystery, to chase the picture that feels incomplete. When you create that sense of "what if" with your words, you give him a story to step into, one that his unconscious will replay again and again. So remember, it is not about the phrase alone. It is about how and when you say it. Use it in a playful moment, keep it light, and let the image do the work for you. When you do, "you and me" stops being just 3 words. It becomes a memory he can't shake, a vision he doesn't want to let go of. And now, having uncovered the essence of these 3 magic words, we can bring everything together and see the bigger picture of why they work so powerfully in the first place.
In the end, lasting attraction is never built on endless effort or constant chasing. It is born in those subtle emotional sparks that bypass logic and land deep in the heart. True magnetism doesn't come from flooding him with messages or trying to be perfect. It comes from that one moment, that one phrase that touches his unconscious and leaves a mark he cannot erase. "You and me" may seem like just 3 ordinary words, but used with the right energy, they become a symbol. They create a frame where the two of you already belong together, even if only for a fleeting image. And it is that image, light and playful, yet powerful, that turns into a memory he keeps replaying when you are not around. So don't pressure yourself to say more, to do more, to prove more. Instead, focus on saying the right thing at the right time. Plant a picture in his mind that stirs curiosity, warmth, and connection. That is how you become unforgettable. If this message spoke to you, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more insights on love, attraction, and emotional connection after 60.
Thank you for being here, for listening with an open heart, and for allowing me to share these truths with you. I'll see you in the next video.